What up, YouTube? Today's going to be a cool little video. We're going to be installing some TooHighPSI parts onto my V3. Shout out to the new sponsor, TooHighPSI, and shout out to the homie GRG Motorsports. I'm going to tag him over here for helping install the stuff. Just a quick little rundown. We're going to be installing TooHighPSI's two-piece billet valve covers, their billet thermostat housing, their port plates, upgraded injectors, and the Reflex system to tie everything together. So yeah, stay tuned for the video. All right, so we got the blower off. Going to be installing the valve covers over here. As you can see, here are the valve covers. This is the driver's side, has the gasket already in it. I got some titanium hardware. Old blower's off. Basically, going to be putting valve covers on. Already have the billet thermostat right there. Lower pulley's already on with the belts, other than the supercharger belt. So now that the car is taken apart, we are going to give you a quick little tutorial on how to put the valve covers together before the install.
So you install these, start here, pull in and roll in as you install. Just make sure it's all just in. That's it. Gasket gets transferred over, or you could purchase a new one if it's damaged. This car has very low miles. I always start at the tab. And then make sure it's all flush and you're good. And then when you flip it over, this was the previous install of the upper piece for the PCV with that O-ring gasket installed. These get torqued to 120 inch-pounds. We put a little bit of Loctite for added safety.
So we got the valve covers all put together. Basically going to install them on the car, and then the next thing we're going to do is to put together the port plates.
All right, so plate down towards cylinder head with the O-rings. Pop your injectors in, lube them up. I put a little bit of dielectric grease. Have the TooHighPSI facing towards valve covers down towards cylinder head. And then basically what you do is you slide these onto here. Put a dab of blue on the rail here. Put a dab of blue here. Blue. And then simply thread these bad boys in here. Okay. Put it in here. Okay. Then these are O-rings already lubed as well. And then you have an alignment pin to go in here. So you just align them all. You wiggle it. So they go in. It's not pretty, but they will go in lubed. There you go. A little twist, make sure nothing's binded. That. Go ahead and slide it up. Move her back and forth. There you go. Should start nicely. That. And these should be 5/16 or 8mm. Yep, the 8mm. Snug. pretty tight. I want to say the top ones are 5/8. Oh man, good memory. 5/8. Tighten up. Okay. That's basically assembled product. The injectors will end up going like this after you plug them in. This side is, I'm going to install this on the driver's side, so I'm going to angle them this way. And then your fittings, obviously, lube your O-rings. Install, tighten up, pull the wrench here, lock it in. And it's a fully assembled side right there.
Port plates are all together. Now we're gonna put them on the car and then basically figure out how to route all the lines. So it's pretty much finished product. Lines are routed, everything's mounted together. Josh is gonna give you a quick little explanation.
Fuel system is completely filled with fuel, checked for leaks, no leaks. Main feed comes through here, through the flex fuel sensor to a T, so it distributes fuel down this rail to the back of that rail. This part of the T goes down to this T. This now feeds the high side and also ties into that fuel rail, so every orifice is being fed fuel. No deadhead anywhere. It's all being distributed properly.
Now that the lines are routed, the next step is going to be to connect the Reflex setup.
All right, so basically this is the fuel injection wiring harness for the Reflex. Always go in the front of the car, so if you guys ever get confused, just the Y closest to the fuse box. This side goes down driver's side. This side goes down passenger side. It's pretty obvious, pretty self-explanatory, but don't route it in the back. It's meant to go from the front to the back. And then common sense would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7. There's no labeling on here, just common sense.
Lines are routed, valve covers on, port plates installed. Checked for fuel leaks, there's no leaks. Got the Reflex connected already. Still need to pin it into the ECU, but this is basically how everything will sit. There's some grooves right there for the injectors on both sides. So that's very nice. We did notice on this side that it was easier to install the bottom piece of the valve cover first, so you can get to the bolts and then put the top piece on with the other bracket that mounts to the dipstick. So make sure you do that. It'll make things a lot easier. Yeah, everything ties together nicely and looks very clean in the setup. So before we wire up the Reflex, basically put the blower on, put everything together. Still need to bleed the coolant system, but other than that, next step is going to be setting up the Reflex system.
Blue connector, J1 blue connector. This car already has been pin for E85, so we have to remove pin 39 on the blue wire on the CAN high signal, which is going to be the one right next to the flex fuel sensor. So you'll just count to 39. So pin, let's see, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So that's, just pop it off. Oop, pop it off. So 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, which is the flex fuel, 39. So you flip it on the other side here, and it should be the blue wire. Yeah, blue wire. Blue wire 39. All right, now that the blue pin is moved out of the blue connector, blue wire, pin 39 next to the flex fuel sensor, now we're going to put the yellow wire in place of the blue wire, because that'll be our can high. And I'm just going to do one untwist, but keep them twisted. There's an engineering thing behind that for signal. They don't twist them to be cute, they twist them for a reason. Let's make sure we got it on the right deal. Flip it 180. Oh, caffeine shakes. Real life, people, real life. Real life. Okay, set it in. All right, pin is in. That would be this one, pin 39. Again, this is the flex fuel. The next pin we're going to be removing is 40, which is the white wire right here. That's next. All right, now we have the white wire, the blue wire removed. Now green wire will go where white wire went, which is pin 40, can low. And that'll just slide right in. All right, so now the last pin, which is the green one, is now inserted, locked in. So it should look like that. You got your flex fuel, low and high. And now this wiring harness right here, you just kind of want to dig it out a little bit out of this harness. And yes, keep the wires twisted. Pull it out of the harness just so we have a little bit of slack, because later on we're going to be pinning it into a little connector that's provided. So this connector is 100% done. Go ahead and make sure you lock it in and just leave it off to the side right now. You'll clean it up really nice afterwards with the lube and some tape. Now onto the next connector. Now that the blue connector is done, I'll wrap this all up at the end. We still have our blue and white wire over here. Remove our J2 connector, which is our black connector. Pulled back the wire loom. Have the plug right here, black. And this one's gonna be a pin 39, which is the cam. Gonna remove that, and we're gonna be putting our last purple wire in there. Okay, so we found pin 39, so count 33. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. I already pulled it through. It's by itself. This is a 19V. It's by itself right here, and it is a white wire. Pulls out. And this is our cam signal. So now our purple wire will be installed where the white wire was. Just make sure you get that orientation right, and maybe jumping the gun. Let's see here. Yep, 180 again. This is real life, people. And click in there to confirm. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. And the other ones have plugs in them, but yeah, that's where it goes. And now we're going to be done with this connector. We'll go ahead and put our plug, lock back in, pull the wire out just a little bit, and you can put the cap, clean it all up the way you'd like. Just have these 3 wires exposed. Everything's button backed up. You could do it as clean or however works best for your application. But basically we have 3 wires right here. We have cam, can, and then you're gonna have this connector in the box, and then there's gonna be labeled 1 and 3. So number 1 is going to get the white wire can bus with the can with the blue and the white wire that came off the blue connector J1, and basically the white wire goes into number 1. So let's do this. I think I got that one on the first hit. Then the blue wire of the can, which this is can high, will go into number 2. Again, this is real life, people. Okay, you see it sliding in right there. Slid in right there. Make sure you have this little lock unlocked, obviously. And then the last wire will be from the cam, which would be the white wire into pin 3. And we'll just slide her on in there. Let's get the right orientation. Okay, all 3 pushed in. And then lock it in place. Once you get them in all the way. Now this one slid out, so push them all in at once. It should just lock. So they're all flush in there. All right, clips in, lock. Just had to hold all 3 firmly to the top. Locked it in place. Then just give yourself another confirmation. Number 1 pin is can low, blue connector from the can is high, that's number 2, and number 3 comes from the camshaft sensor, and that's 3. Locked in, all good. And now all you simply do is plug these 2 bad boys in and lock, and now you clean it up per application. This is a CTS-V 19 Z01. It's a little bit different. Computers flip 180. All right, so I ended up plugging in the Reflex box and mounting it here. Some people mount it right here on the side, but it's just really close to the water pump. A lot of heat from the header. There's just a lot of heat here. So I mount them and slide them in here and or up here, depending on application and what we have going on. But this seems to work really well. It's mounted in here, it's plugged in, it's all plug and play. This is the USB. This will be tapped and rolled away because it's going to be hard to get to the port. So we'll end up tucking this away somewhere nice afterwards. So again, per application, wherever you want to put your box. I just don't like putting them near the heat. That worries me. That's all. In the harness, there'll be 2 grounds and then straight hot. The ECU, the CAN bus, controls the trigger to turn on the box. So this goes straight to hot. And then there's 2 wires that have 2 ground wires. Just ground them here to this ground. And then again, per application, figure out where you want to mount it or how you want to do it. And this is the last piece of the Reflex puzzle. You can route it under the blower, you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to route it under here. I'll remove these 2 tabs, route it this way, put the mass airflow sensor harness through here, and just simply simply plug it in. And plug and play. Again, per application, you can install, zip tie, tuck it away, however way you'd like.
All right, guys. So car's finally done. Basically uploaded the bass tune on there. Runs and drives very well. At least I could drive it home now. So we're just basically waiting on the tuner to have some free time, basically finalize the tune, do the transmission tune, all that stuff. So there's basically going to be a part 2 to this video. So that part 2 is basically going to be the tune process, what it puts down on the dyno, all that good stuff. So yeah, Till next time, guys. Thanks for watching.